Blessed ones of the nations of the world, one more time, thus is your brother Dan Moses, or say Yao Sakodi of TRC Ghana, coming to you with the continuation of our expose, Testimony, New World Disorder, on the 17th of August 2023. Because of the terror operations of the Akufo Addo government, Joe Biden and his administration, states, Ban Ki-moon states within the United Nations, who continue to terrorize us in Ghana and to put us under secret surveillance and torturing and persecuting us in Ghana. Though the exposés are being recorded on the 17th of August, we should not be surprised if, due to their sabotage, we see the exposés on the 18th of August 2023. Let's understand this. But we are not moved. By the grace of God, we see behind us the images of the saints who have fallen victim to the new terrorists, political stakes, religious stakes, diplomatic stakes, who have turned cowardly secret killing and hate crime of the killing of the African people as a global game. We have seen, but by the grace, we are seeing their images back. We are almost done with the posting of their images back here, which shows that amidst all the hatred against us, we are still coming up. We are still taking shape for the exposés to continue fully in Ghana. So America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and the nations of the world, God is in total control. Therefore, we must be still. Akufo to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. This is going to be expose part 259, what to do. But before we go into what to do, we want to encourage the heart of the people of Niger that they should fear not. They should stand together as one Niger. Humanity has come to a point where those that we trust to be there for the human race, to be there for democracy, to be there for justice, to be there for humanity, they have become the very people that are dealing with us treacherously and are wrecking nations, tearing down innocent life, committing terrorism against us in worship of the extremely dangerous US undercover agent. Therefore, Niger has the right to decide who should be their ruler and which path their nation should go, and not the global wicked forces and the hypocrites and the destroyers of the nations of the world. Akufo to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. Therefore, I think Africa, Europe, Australia, and the nations of the world must get some courage and tell all who have ECOWAS must all tell who desire to invade Niger, invade Niger, invade Niger, and to loot the resources of Niger, that fuck off and back off. Niger is for the noble people of Niger. Africa is for Africans. Europe is for Europeans. Asia is for Asians. And the earth is for the human race, and not the greedy and the destroyers of the human race, the enemies of God and them that relegate God from the human society. Akufo to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. Humanity and the nations of the world. I want to strengthen the heart of the United Kingdom and South Africa. Just calm down, be still. The exposés in Ghana have begun, and shall continue. Just before my coming down to Ghana, stakes within the United Nations, the Biden administration, the Akufo Addo terror government, in seeking to cover their shame of medical terrorism and their COVID-19 terrorism against humanity, their shame of God totally decimating them in the White House, the moment I put the July 15th expose and declared to them that I will not pay a penny to this extremely dangerous US undercover agent whom they worship, they use the terror sponsoring, state-sponsored terrorists of the state of Maryland and took over the Rockville court and quickly generated a fictitious document. Used ghost names as the names for my 2 tortured and abducted children. They used ghost, the name of a dead man, Jack Caesar, as the names of my children, and generated a fraudulent document to seek to come rob me of my income for the extremely dangerous US undercover agent. That the shame of traitors within the United Nations, the Ban Ki-moons, racists, the enemies of God in Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo and his terror government, Joe Hater of the White House, conscienceless old man, they must cover up their shame that the terrorists, the Jezebel whom they worship, whose mind they bought to kill her own husband, to kill me, and she failed. They have been able to get me to pay money for me to pay money to my killer. And I exited America because I made it clear to the United Nations. I made it clear to the US government. Send all of them. I don't owe her. I made it clear to Nana Addo. No justice, no peace. That is the bottom line. And we exited America. Humanity and the nations of the world. Guess what? While they had orchestrated to bring their terrorists whom they sent to Mali, Burkina Faso, to coordinate the operating of their terror cell in Dowenya. 1 week to my arrival, they brought him to Ghana for their damage control. Okay. South Africa, hear this. The same diplomatic treacherous minds, terror sponsoring government of Joe Biden and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo had sent a so-called family member of mine from South Africa to be brought down to Ghana. Who is this individual? That individual, he calls himself Dankwa. Okay, he is of the tribalist agenda. You understand? The Dankwas. He calls himself a family member. 10 years ago, that individual was removed quietly from the land of Ghana to South Africa to go aid the cover-up of the heinous crimes of this US undercover agent. The state intelligence technology and network of the US was put behind him. And the state intelligence technology and network of Ghana was put behind him by the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. 10 years. He was aiding the CIA and the FBI in the covering up of the crimes of this extremely dangerous US at the back of the American people. And he was in South Africa. A so-called family member of mine, they did that in worship of this extremely dangerous US undercover agent to the killing of my uncle Nana Daniel Opoku Eji on the 6th of November 2019, when they had sought to come rob me of my income and I refused. They had to kill my uncle immediately for me having resisted the robbing of my income for this extremely dangerous US undercover agent. They used Konfanoti teaching hospital, Kumasi, to commit that terrorism against my uncle and they killed him. America and the nations of the world. The same week that I arrived in Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo and his administration, the Biden administration, states within the United Nations, counted themselves smart that their crime covering has succeeded. They must bring the terror counterpart of Nana Addo Dankwa, whom they have made him to hide in South Africa for 10 years, aiding the crime covering, the covering up of the killing of our people at the back of the people of Ghana. They sent him down to Ghana asked me to go to Kotoka International Airport and go bring him down to my house to pass the night that I see him off to Kumasi. I sure did. So that individual is in Ghana after 10 years of their evil in South Africa. America, Ghana, and the nations of the world. This extremely dangerous US undercover agent was behind the killing of Lucky Dube. And the so-called family member of mine was removed from Ghana to South Africa to go aid the cover-up of that agenda for 10 years. And the end result is my uncle being killed by the extremely dangerous US undercover state within the United Nations. And the terror network of Akufo. They have brought the guy down because it is now time for them to party like they are 16. Party like it is the 90s. Because it is time for them to enjoy blood money. The God of the Bible is a mighty warrior, strategic warrior. Akwaba Dankwa from South Africa. South Africa, get this. The reason why your nation fell prey or to the plague of COVID-19 agenda more than any nation else is that South Africa on the 4th of February 2020, when I was leaving US for my uncle's funeral after they had killed him through medical terrorism, Washington Dulles International Airport, I was coming with the South African airline. And Nana Addo Akufo and his administration, the Barack Obama, the Ban Ki-moon, the diplomatic evil states colluded with the FBI to seek to plant narcotics after they have killed my uncle. And I was living in pain and grief to Ghana to come mourn my uncle. They decided to use the South African Airways and the staff of the South African Airways to plant narcotics on me, so I never get to Ghana. They destroy me for having found narcotic in my luggage. They used the South African Airways to do this. America, Ghana, and the nations of the world have told us how they were able to entrap South African embassy when I have fled in the year 2013 for refuge in South African embassy due to terrorism by the Obama administration against me. They hijacked the South African embassy to reject an African. So South Africa has been a victim to this global evil for far too long. The killing of Lucky Dube because of this extremely dangerous US. So there was the need for the entire world to be locked down. I mean, there was the treachery to lock down the entire human race, entire world, and impound, terrorize all airlines of the nations of the world, because it is unthinkable for them to have sought to use the South African Airways to plant narcotics on me. And that agenda blew up at the White House. You understand? And besides that, all through the years, the rule of Barack Obama, he was using passenger airline. They hijacked the state of Canada to also use passenger airlines to aid their surveillance and their terror operations against me in America and in Ghana and in Canada. So it was like they have violated every aviation law, torn down every law that borders aviation. So there was the need for them to cover up their shame by locking down all planes and infusing so much fear under the guise of COVID-19. South Africa, you were played. You were played. The guy is in Ghana now, and we will tell them what to do. What to do. Psalm 118. Europe, we are telling them what we will do. Asia, what we will do. Australia, what we will do. Africa, what we will do. For their total betrayal of the human race. South Africa, United Kingdom, be still. As from this week, we shall start exposing the evil deeds of the United Nations, the Biden administration, the Akufo Addo government, in their shameless bribing of my family members. After they have killed my family members, they decided to bribe, coax my family members, the willing ones, that they aid in covering up the killing of their own family members for bribe money. United Nations, the institution we know to be called United, they have done this. And they are buying the minds of my so-called family to aid them to get me killed in worship of this extremely dangerous. United Nations, you have done this. Well, let's go. Psalm 118, verse 14. Okay, verse 10. Psalm 118. That is what to do. What to do is to stand strong in the Lord and know that there be many that are gathered against us and seek the destruction of the African, that have committed medical terrorism against the African, that have committed hate crimes of the cowardly secret killing of the African people in the pursuit of the agenda that the Africans are the seed of the Antichrist, and they have committed terrorism against the African people. There are many. Some are diplomats, some are politicians, some are religious leaders, some are in Ghana, some are in America, some are within the United Nations, some in South Korea. And when we want to expose them, they shout, North Korea has shot a satellite into space. China, 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 Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. Great deal. Israel and Israel. Let's see what to do. All nations compass me about, but in the name of the Lord, but in the name of the Lord will I destroy them. They compass me about, yea, they compass me about, but in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. They compass me about like bees. They are quenched as far. They are quenched as far of the tongues. For in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. For generations, Israel and Palestine have fallen prey to these same global evil forces who have been tearing down stable states, destroying innocent life, under the guise of they being the protectors of the human race and they being for the welfare of the human race. Nobody has been able to help Israel or Palestine. And the people have continued to bleed. The same state came up with the agenda of their hands for Osama bin Laden to destroy innocent life on the nations of the world, to seek to create more confusion, chaos between Israel and Palestine. God at the appointed time helped Israel, helped Palestine, helped the human race, and exposed them that the bin Laden who they are using to tear down the world, he is long dead, long dead, before the May 2nd, 2011. Therefore, the extremely dangerous US undercover agent must be brought into accountability. Barack Obama, Ban Ki-moon, Hillary Clinton, Akufo Addo, all of them, Mahmoud Bawumia, all of them must be brought to accountability. They decided to orchestrate the killing of the Ghanaian people, the killing of my family members, the killing of my reverend ministers, and they have stepped it up to shameless medical terrorism against the human race, all of us. And now, to cover up their shame, they are saying that let them continue to make a fool of the family members of the Ghanaian in Ghana, my family members. They will use some of the family members to destroy every family links of mine, every family of mine in Ghana, so that I'll have no family, and my only choice would be to go get bonded and remarried to the extremely dangerous US undercover agent. So they will shout, yay, they have prevailed. Ghana, America, and the nations of the world. We tell somebody the diplomatic cronies of Ban Ki-moon in the United Nations, those that have engaged in shameless bribery to seek to destroy my family in Ghana, that I have no family in Ghana. We tell them yes. The Biden administration, bribe paying government of Joe Biden and Akufo, that no Ghanaian, no American decide whom the family members of the members of the United States should get married. They don't discuss their families with us. Joe Biden's family issues, he doesn't discuss with the American people. Therefore, they have no right. I think they should back off from my marriage and my personal life. Back off! You within the United Nations, you within the White House, and the flag staffer, back off. I will marry whom God gives me, and I will not marry your extremely dangerous US. Period. The time for accountability and judgment is now. I trust in the name of the Lord, not in diplomatic treachery of the killing of my family members, buying the minds of my family members to cover up the killing of their own family members. God has watched onto your evil for far too long. It was just a matter of time. The time is now. The world shall come to believe one more time that the African people were not created by America. They were not created by the United Nations. They were not created by Nana Addo Akufo or anybody. The same God created us all. There are evils against Israel and Palestine, which has come to the point of they pursuing open, shameless hate crime against the African people, shall come to an end, or they shall choose to end the world. They are ready for it. Because the just God of the Bible shall surely give me justice. If the hijackers of America, the hijackers of Ghana, the hijackers of the United Nations claim that they shall never ensure justice, the just God shall bring me justice. This undercover agent shall be no more. Her mother shall be no more. Afterwards, if my children are not set free, the same God would let it resonate. Nana Addo Akufo shall be no more. Joe Biden shall be no, in the name of Yahweh. And they shall know that there is a God somewhere. Set my children free. Give me justice, or my God shall bring me justice. That is all. We don't believe in your bombs and your weapons and your bloodshed. We believe in the name of the Lord. Give us justice, or our God shall give us justice. That's all. We have no discussion with your extremely dangerous US undercover agent. If any family member of mine shall say that they shall continue to give themselves to the killing of my family members in Ghana and desire money, mansions, and buildings at the expense of the blood of their own family members, Ghana, them that have had their family members falling victim to the 17 years of cowardly secret terrorism and have gone for bribe at the expense of the blood of their own family members, from the Akufo government, from the Joe Biden's administration, from states within the United Nations. This is haram, an abomination, an accursed thing that you have allowed these states to buy your minds with money to cover up the blood of your own family members. Unthinkable. The senior days of the slavery and the human enslavement are here. This is not by Europe or by the West or by Africa. It is by political, religious, and diplomatic evil minds. Jesus Christ, my Lord, suffered under their hands. The Pilate, the Caesars, the Caiaphases. God bless you. United Kingdom be still. We shall get there. We shall uncover it all. They must set my children free, or Yahweh, my God, Onyankopon Twene Edu Ampon Kwame, Yahweh shall set my children free. He shall avenge my family members, shall avenge my two innocent, shall avenge the blood of my innocent children on her mother, on her, and on all who decide to continue to hate her evil and not set my children free after her mother and her are gone. Behold, I am the children whom the Lord hath given me, are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, who dwelleth upon Mount Zion. The Lord bless you and bless my homeland, Ghana. Bye bye. Expose part 259. What to do.